Devin Haney. Oh, Devin Haney. Oh, Devin Haney. The dream is surely collapsing like an airplane into the Twin Towers. Devin Haney's career is going the route of TeofimoLopez. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna break it all down. But before we get into that, good morning, Mexico. America. You know. Sometimes I slip back. I think it's still the Biden years, because during the Biden years, I used to call it. Hold up. Let me give you some visuals. You need the visuals done. You need the visuals. You can see me? Yep, you can see me. During the Biden years, I used to call it Mexico. But now we're back with Trump, Emperor Trump, colonizing the planet. Now it's back to America. So let me restart. Rewind it. Good morning, America. Start your day with Christ. Start your day right. Don't end up circling a box like a dummy. No. Alhamdulillah. Mashallah. Inshallah. Subhanallah. Allahim salam. Allahi salam. Too much takia is going on in Devin Haney's career. And the ida is 3 months. You know I know all about my Islam. You ain't getting over on me with none of that dumb shit, let me tell you. There's a whole lot of takia going on. A whole lot of bid'ah going on in Devin Haney's career. Takia is basically the practice of lying in Islam, which is permissible. It is completely allowed. You're completely allowed to lie and deceive. It's really deception. You know what I mean? It's really like, that's what it, you know what I mean? That's what it translates to. Deception. You're allowed to deceive and lie in Islam as long as it's in protection of the religion, or to push the religion forward, which could be just about anything, right? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, people. Which could be just about anything, right? You know. There's a whole lot of takia going on in Devin Haney's career. You could use the word also for other things, you know what I mean? You could use it in other contexts. But basically it means, you know what I mean? You could do anything to, you know what I mean? To, you know what I mean? Get your, it's like by any means, basically. By any means necessary, you know what I'm saying? Only in Islam are you allowed to do, you know, a lot of crazy things. Let me tell you. The ida, IDDAH, is 3 months long. We're not going to get into that though. For any female, 3 months long. Only 3 months. Only 3 months. But, you know what I mean? This is not a religious video. But, you know, so you know what I'm saying. When I say these words, you know what I mean. And bid'ah is innovation. Bid'ah is like another word for, you know, bullshitting. You know, but just on a lighter, you know what I mean? On a lighter level, you know what I mean? So you got takia, which is straight up lying, deception, by any means necessary. And you got bid'ah, which is like, you know, innovating, you know what I mean? Changing, you know what I mean? Switching shit up, you know what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot of takia and a whole lot of bid'ah going on in Devin Haney's career. Devin Haney's career, and I mean, I'm not gonna take it back, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it G. If you've been following me long enough, I was a major fan of Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? I kinda, you know, the Islam thing, cause you know, black Muslims in America, most of them follow Louis Farrakhan. They're not real Muslims. They have like a different last prophet. Their last prophet is not Muhammad. their Islam is like, it's like a whole different type, of Islam. It's not your traditional Islam, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of like look past that, you know what I'm saying? I learned my lesson. You can never ever look past that, you know what I'm saying? But I was young and dumb a couple years ago, and you know what I mean? And I was a big fan of Devin Haney, you know what I mean? At that time, he was fighting the best. You know what I mean? He's like Jorge Linares, line him up. He was calling out Teofimo. He was calling out Gervonta Davis. He was calling out everybody. Shakur Stevenson. He wanted all the smoke. And at that time, a couple years ago, he was fighting the best. He was moving up the ranks. He became undisputed. They gave him the opportunity to go to Australia and whoop on the white boy, George Kambosos. And he did that. Twice. Became undisputed. I'm not going to take it back. I had him as undisputed at that time. So I was a major fan of Devin Haney. You know, how I see Devin Haney has not been how I see Gervonta, which I have been a certified day one hater of Crack Baby Wahid, Gervonta Davis, even before he turned to Islam. I was a complete total hater of Gervonta Crack Baby Wahid from day one. That's not how I was with Devin Haney. I like Devin Haney. I like the father-son duels. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of Devin Haney. I was promoting Devin Haney. But, like TeofimoLopez, which I was a major fan of until the last fight, which I have been making excuses for TeofimoLopez for years. I've been hyping up TeofimoLopez since before Comey, since before the Loma fight. But there's just so much that a fan could take. There's just so much that a fan could take with Devin Haney and with TeofimoLopez. This video is about Devin Haney. We're going to make a whole other video about just TeofimoLopez. TeofimoLopez career is the second plane going into the towers. Now, let's talk about Devin Haney, okay? Now that you understand how I was a major fan of Devin Haney and how I feel completely betrayed by Devin Haney and TeofimoLopez, and how I can no longer make excuses for the total fuckery going on in Devin Haney's career. So Devin Haney was fighting the best. Devin Haney was taking on all challenges. Of course, that's what every boxing fan wants. You know what I mean? He was undefeated. He was undisputed. He was unified. He was going to Australia. He was going to Vegas. He was going to California. He was going to New York City. And we thought that trajectory was going to continue. And that trajectory came to an abrupt stop at the hands, boom, of Ryan Garcia, let me tell you. So after Ryan Garcia whooped on Devin Haney, cracked we're about to have some fun with this video. After Ryan Garcia cracked Devin Haney's jaw into like 12 places, turned that shit into a dozen eggs. Devin Haney's jaw was cracked here, 3 times here, here. I think he cracked the top of his head as well. Devin Haney had like 15 cracks on his dome piece. Devin Haney had like 15 cracks on his dome piece. You know what I'm saying? After Ryan Garcia unloaded fucking 6 months of PEDs on after Ryan Garcia beat the Islam at that boy. After Ryan Garcia, Allah was about to come down to save Devin Haney, but Allah can't come to earth. You know what I'm saying? That's part of Islam as well. Allah can't come to earth. You know what I'm saying? That's why they deny Jesus Christ. Make sure you follow Jesus Christ. Don't be following some illiterate dude coming out of a cave telling you a story. You need to follow the truth, the way, and the life with the most miracles, with the most disciples, with the most witnesses. Make sure you follow the only begotten Son. They also say he's not the Son. These people be doing a whole lot of lying, let me tell you. Let me tell you. I invite everybody of anywhere, of any country, male, female, any age, to study Islam, so you know not to be deceived. But let's get back to the box. So, after Ryan Garcia demolished and cracked Devin Haney's head in 15 different places, sent him straight to the hospital for reconstructive surgery, Devin Haney was never the same, let me tell you. After that ass whooping, Devin Haney was never the same. And I didn't realize it at that time, but after a couple months, you know what I mean? Then came the ratting. It was the ratting. You see, because an ass whooping, you know what I mean? Anybody could catch an ass whooping. There's nothing wrong with catching an ass whooping. You know what I mean? Everybody catches an L here or there. The only one undefeated is Floyd Money Mayweather, and he caught an L from a girl. You know what I'm saying? Put him in jail for 60 days. That's a massive L. I'll take an L in the ring any day instead of ended up 60 days with men in prison. Hashtag no lie. Going to prison is a massive L. Gervonta already has like about 4 or 5 L's. But let's stay focused. After Ryan Garcia demolished, cracked After Ryan Garcia demolished and cracked Devin Haney's head in 15 different places, had 15 different fractures. Let me tell you, Devin Haney has never been the same. And I don't think he'll ever be the same. Because it wasn't the ass whooping that told me that his career was finito Dorito, the whole bag of Cheetos. Turn the bag upside down. Ain't no crumbs coming out. It's a wrap. You know you like that line, right? I like that line. I've been saying that line for fucking years, right? But it wasn't the ass whooping that told me that it was finito Dorito, the whole bag of Cheetos. It was the ratting. You see, a couple months later, about 3 or 4 months later, Devin Haney started ratting to the sanctioning bodies, ratting to the authorities, calling the cops. My nigga, whether he's on PEDs or not, you got in the ring, you need to be ready for anything. You need to be ready for roughhousing, for PEDs. It's a fight, my nigga. You know what I mean? Holding, hitting behind the head. You gotta be ready for all that shit, son. It's a fight, nigga. What the fuck you thought this was? A game of poker? What you thought this was? Tennis? Baseball? Basketball? You thought you were gonna, you know what I mean? Go shoot some hoops? This is a fucking fight, nigga. And if you get your ass whooped, you get your ass whooped. Run it back. What he should have done and what all the fans were expecting was him to run it back. You know what I mean? You could talk some shit, you know what I mean, on the internet about, oh, he's on PEDs, they spiked my water, or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, like Wilder did and shit like that, but Wilder ran it back. And then Fury started ducking and wanted to stay busy and this and that, but Wilder never called the cops. Wilder never called the sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? And we've had these things before, you know what I mean? Oh, this guy's on PEDs, or that guy's on PEDs. Mayweather claiming, you know, Pacquiao was on PEDs. He, you know, the fight couldn't be made because of Pacquiao not refusing the testing and all that stupid shit. But one thing is to hype up the fight or to talk your trash on the internet. And it's a whole other thing to officially, actually be a rat. Devin Haney became Tekashi, my nigga. Let's keep it G. Devin Haney became Tekashi. Devin Haney became the random baby mama, calling the authorities. Yo, put this nigga on child support. Devin Haney became a straight up bitch. That's some bitch ass shit. How you gonna be calling the cops on that nigga after you get your ass whooped? Whether he's on PEDs or not, whether he fucking fails it or not. You know what I mean? The only solution to that is run it back. Or keep your mouth shut. That's where I knew. Because if he would have been quiet, I would have been like, yo, he's on PEDs, you know what I'm saying? Run it back. Okay, whatever you say. We'll see what happens in the rematch. You know what I mean? But after he's ratted to the sanctioning bodies, and you know you gotta be ratting. You know you gotta do a whole lot of ratting, nigga. You gotta be doing a whole lot of ratting, son, to get the L taken off your record. You know you're not gonna call a sanctioning body and they're just gonna change the box rec. They're gonna go call all the websites. That takes a whole lot of work, son. That takes a whole lot of money too. You think that shit just happened overnight? They're just gonna change that shit? You know what I mean? You think the sanctioning bodies, you think the authorities, the state athletic commissions are just gonna change that shit just like that? No, you gotta do a whole lot of ratting. You gotta do a whole lot of bag dropping. You know that nigga had to pay for that shit. You ain't get it over on me, huh? Boy, you didn't just, yeah, Devin Haney, yeah, you're crying, praying to Allah, and for free, we're gonna change your record? No. Are you fucking stupid? That nigga had to drop at least 500,000 over here, 200,000 over there, 300,000 over here, but he got like at least 15, 20 M's for that fight. So, you know what I mean? If you spend 1.5, you know what I mean? 150,000 over here. Boy, 200,000 over there. You know what I mean? For all the magazines and all the websites, all the sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? The 12-man panel at the commission. A whole lot of hands had to be greased to take that L off his record and make it a no contest. You know how boxing be, the most corrupt sport in history. So don't be giving me that nonsense. Don't be giving me that stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what he passed. That's what he went straight from. You know what I mean? From like, you know, how can I say it? That's where he went from being a good boxer that had a bad night and took an L for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? To being a bitch. That's when I was like, I can't make excuses for this, son. You know what I mean? Once you go into ratting, calling the sanctioning bodies, you know what I mean? Calling the police, because a nigga got in there, whooped your ass, you know what I mean? Because you just weren't ready. Because he got dropped early, like in the second round, third round, some shit like that. First round, I forgot, but it was within the first 3 rounds, he got, blow! He got cracked and dropped. So you can't really say that it was like a, you know what I mean, later on throughout the fight, you know what I mean, Ryan Garcia had more endurance, you know what I mean, it was a tug of war, and it was the PEDs that got him over. No, Ryan Garcia cracked him early, he had no answer for that left hook, you know what I mean, and then it continued to crack him with the same punch, and he never had an answer for it. Because it seemed like Devin Haney spent more time on his outfit. This nigga has some crazy weird ass Uggs. This nigga went into the ring wearing Uggs. Go watch the fight. I mean, y'all remember, real boxing fans remember. They were talking about it live. They were like, well, what kind of boots are those? Yo, what's up? What's up with them shorts? This nigga went in there with like a costume and shit. You know what I'm saying? He spent too much time on his shorts and boots. And his boots look like Uggs. Them shits look mad floppy and loose on his feet. He couldn't pivot. He couldn't, I don't know what was wrong with him. You know what I mean? Maybe he should have taken PEDs. Maybe Devin Haney's the one that needed the PEDs. You know what I mean? But the point I'm trying to make here is that it's not that he lost, you know what I'm saying? It's that he ratted. So let's get back to, you know what I mean, what's happening right now. So about 2 months ago, about a month and a half ago, you know what I mean? We got the news that Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia was being lined up for July 25th, 26th, you know, that weekend, right? The last weekend of July. No. I'm sorry. I take that back. That was the first report. The official report was for September 15th. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia was going to take over the Mexican holiday since Canelo can't hold it down. Canelo became, you know what I mean, a bitch. I'm saying Canelo became a fucking bitch for the towel heads. He said, yes, master, I will be your Mexican slave and fight anywhere in the desert that you want. Never mind the American fans. Never mind the Mexican fans. Never mind the tradition of Cinco de Mayo and September 15th in America. It don't matter if you fight on those days in the middle of Riyadh. You know what I mean? Especially, it's a Mexican-American holiday. You gotta do that shit in Vegas, son. But you know, Canelo completely sold out for the M's. That's one thing that Mayweather never did. Mayweather never, you can say whatever you want about Mayweather, you know what I mean? But Mayweather delivered those days for 20 years in America. In America. Mayweather didn't go sell out to some towel heads in the middle of the desert. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're gonna give me my 40 M's, 50 M's, and you're gonna give me my money in America, and I'm gonna deliver for my Mexicans and Americans. But let me stay focused. So, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia were supposed to fight September 15th, right? Which, it should have been happened. This fight should have been happened like a year ago. They should have ran that shit back within 6 to 8 months. That was the only solution to that. You know what I'm saying? But Devin Haney ducked. He ducked back then. He ratted back then. He went on to, and then you could be like, all right, well then Devin Haney ducked. He had this and that. They couldn't come to, you know what I mean, an agreement. You know what I'm saying? And Devin Haney, let's say that Devin Haney went on to go fight Gervonta. Or Devin Haney went on to go fight Teofimo. Or Devin Haney went on to go fight Shakur Stevenson. But no, Devin Haney won't even fight an Isaac Cruz. Devin Haney won't even fight a Lamont the Legend Roach. Devin Haney went on a payday. He went on a payday spree, fighting nobodies. The last guy he fought was okay, but it's been already like he's already had like 3 or 4 fights. So not only did Devin Haney rat, but then he ducked for like 2 years. And then we were finally gonna get the fight. I thought we were finally gonna get the fight September 15th. I'm like, alright, you know what I mean? It's about time. Run it back. We want that. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia Part 2, the rematch. In Vegas, September 15th, a Mexican holiday. I said yes. Give me that. And now, about a week ago, we hear the fight is canceled. We hear that Ryan Garcia is looking to go fight Conor Benn or somebody else because Devin Haney has pulled out. Devin Haney has got cold feet and negotiations. They couldn't come to an agreement. The fight is canceled. So Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia Part 2, the rematch, September 15th in Vegas. It would have been the biggest fight of the year. Besides like Joshua versus Fury, which is like in the UK. In America, what other fight would have been bigger? Well, Mayweather Pacquiao Part 2, but you know that's like, and like an exhibition kind of, you know what that is, you know what I'm saying? But a real boxing, it would have been the biggest fight of the year. But Devin Haney, I think his career is just slowly but surely going to collapse like TeofimoLopez, which we're gonna make a whole other video about the total head case TeofimoLopez. And I love me some Teo. I was a way bigger fan of TeofimoLopez than any other fighter in that weight class. You know what I mean? My second favorite could have been the QBN Rolly Romero. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite, anybody who who's been following this channel knows that from 130 to 140, my favorite fighter for years has been TeofimoLopez. You know what I'm saying? Hyping up TeofimoLopez since before Comey. Whooped on Lomachenko. Called out everybody. Undisputed, unified, undefeated. But after the baby mama, that nigga was never the same, let me tell you. Some things happen in fighters' lives, or in anybody's life really, that sometimes just change you permanently. And let me tell you, TeofimoLopez was permanently scarred. He was never the same after baby mama. He was never ever the same. But this video, we're gonna make a whole other video and break down that whole collapsing of TeofimoLopez. And I love me TeofimoLopez, and I hope that he could get back on track. But I don't think it's gonna happen. His head is just all screwed up. You know what I'm saying? His head is all mangled. His mind is not right. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevenson. Yo, Shakur Stevenson just turned him into a pie, son. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be mad if he would have lost the fight. You know what I mean? If it was close. Or if it was at least he tried. At least it looked somewhat competitive. TeofimoLopez looked the worst against Shakur Stevenson than other pies. Oscar Valdez? Oscar Valdez looked better against Shakur Stevenson than TeofimoLopez. But let's get back. We're going to make a whole other video. We got to break that down. Because, you know, that's like my top 5 favorite fighter, TeofimoLopez. You know, I was so hurt I had to remove him off the top 5. I had to take him off. You know what I mean? Until he gets his mind right. Because there's just so much garbage that I could deal with. There's just so much garbage that I could make excuses for. You know what I'm saying? After all, I gotta keep it G. And Devin Haney's career has become a daily taquilla, daily bitter, daily lies and innovation and fabrications and ducking and paydays and pies. And Devin Haney's career went from being all the way at the top to now just being like, Devin Haney has become like a Jake Paul. Devin Haney has become like a joke. Like, I mean, he had to just run it back. All he had to do was just run that shit back, immediate rematch. You know what I mean? No stay busy, no ratting, no nothing, just run that shit back, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, but nah, man. And it would have been the biggest payday. He never got another payday like that since then. It's not like he's such a big star that he could have just went and go fight somebody else. It's not like he went and fought Gervonta after that. It's not like he went back and was like, you know, this guy's on PEDs and he trying to cheat me and this is and that. And you know what I mean? I'm gonna go fight another top dog. But that's not what Devin Haney did. Devin Haney didn't do that. Devin Haney went to fight pies. And he's still fighting pies 3 years later. Devin Haney. Hi. Nice dog.
Good boy, thank you.
Devin Haney's career is finito, Dorito, the whole bag of Cheetos. Turn the bag upside down. It's a total wrap. And I might have to go snatch up a 42-year-old MILF. Psych, psych, just playing. Psych, psych. You know rule number 1. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever fucks with baby mamas. No, no, no. You need to avoid the baby mamas because they could ruin your life, like TeofimoLopez. You need to avoid the liquor, the weed, the baby mamas. Let me Let me relax over here in the shade. And let me cut this video. Let me cut this video and relax over here in the shade. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share. Thank you.